Hello guys, and welcome to Doi Phu National Park, which is in Phayoa Province in Thailand, and I intend to spend a couple of nights here, but I hadn't put much revision into this park. I hadn't looked at it with any detail, and that came back and sort of bit me a little bit. But anyway, we'll go into that later. Okay, so here's my tent, and I'm set up next to the shower blocks. One block for the ladies, one block for gents, and then as we spin round, in the distance you see the visitors centre, and then there's another building just below the visitors centre, which I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. I think it's some kind of conference centre. The gatehouse to let the people in, and then obviously a nice big car park. Now what you might notice from this is the park buildings are very compact. They're all in the same area. So there we have the shop that's open daily, and the restaurant and kitchen. We then have another building that's used for storing the safety equipment, and then we come round to the main headquarters. So that is all the buildings in the park. Well, except for the accommodation, guest accommodation. And as you see, I'm back at my tent. So this park is very compact. Everything is in this central area. And as you can see, there's very little in the way of shelter. So what is the park famous for? Well, a couple of things. One of these things is it's home to a large number of peacocks during breeding season. Now this wasn't breeding season, and I think I saw about 4 or 5 of them, but apparently in breeding season there's thousands of peacocks, and people do actually complain that they can get pretty violent as well, but that's a different story. I didn't see much in that respect. Okay, so we have peacocks. There's also a waterfall that this park is famous for, and we'll go and have a look at that now. So again, just away from the car park, there would normally be someone sat at that desk checking people in and out to the waterfall, but this is very early in the morning, so there's no one about. So I'm going to go down a long set of steps and head towards the waterfall. The steps are very easy. There are a lot of them, but they are really quite well maintained, and yeah, quite small steps. So I'll meet you further down. Okay, coming towards the bottom of the steps, and as you can see, it then turns into a nice easy concrete walkway. Water's running off, so that's a good sign. There might be some water at the waterfall. I'm not a big fan of Thai waterfalls. They're not very impressive usually. Yeah, we've got water running around, so yeah, good sign. Remember, this is in wet season though. Really well maintained paths. The concrete fence panels turned over onto the backs, so they make a really good surface to walk on. I doubt whether you'll be able to see this, but there is a bit of a river to my right hand side. I'll try to show you on the camera if I can find somewhere where you can see it. And I'd say it's about a 200 metre walk to the waterfalls. It's not a very long walk at all. There are bathrooms here as well. Apparently this used to be one of the campsites. Yeah, and this would be better camping down here than it would be up on the top. But now I don't think you can do. I think they've stopped camping down here. I'm not sure about that, but I think they have. Now these flies, they just wouldn't leave the cameras alone. I didn't realise for a little while that they were there on the lens all the time, but they started to get on my nerves. And yeah, they were, I don't know what attracted them, but something on the camera was obviously attracting them. And you see now just the end of the falls. Now I was asked by one of the subscribers if I could show the cards and take photographs of the signage, basically, to give people an idea what the falls are about or what the places that I visit are about. I will do that in future, but this had already been filmed by the time I got that request, so unfortunately not on this one. And here we have the main falls. So we can get a bit closer to them, but yeah, at least we have some water here. I have been to waterfalls in Thailand where there's been absolutely no water, and that fly is a nuisance, or whatever it is. You just love the cameras for some reason. And here we have the falls themselves. So it's apparently two separate waterfalls, two separate contributors that make it seem like it's one waterfall. Would I come here to see this waterfall? Not particularly. It's not that special. But seeing as I'm in the park, I might as well have the little walk down. And yeah, I could imagine with a bit more water, it'd be quite spectacular maybe, but there's just not enough water. So, having seen the falls, it's a walk back up the steps, and yeah, if you take it easy, it's no issues at all. But you can see the steps in front of me, and they're the final flight of steps leading towards the car park. Okay, so here's a few of the things that there are to do in the park, and you'll see the miracle of Sompong tree, and you'll also see a nature walk, and I'm going to actually show you this miracle of the Sompong tree, and I'm going to actually go on the nature walk. But up the little driveway past the headquarters we have the accommodation blocks for visitors, and we'll just show you that. Some of the accommodation is used by the people that work in the park. So here we have the visitors accommodations, quite nice sized bungalows, and yeah, I've no idea again how much they cost to rent, but they can be rented out. Apparently you can pay for these in 7-Elevens. That's what I've been told. How you go about that, I have no idea. And these buildings are just in a little cul-de-sac outside of the main park. You're literally 20 yards, 30 yards away from the park itself. And here's the nature trail, so I'll go and have a look at this nature trail. Again, I might as well while I'm here. Okay, so up the steps and go and see the Buddha, and everything's pretty well set out for you. Pretty easy to find your way through the nature trail, and to be honest with you, if you didn't do it, you wouldn't be missing very much. Okay, so carry on. There are one or two areas that are quite nice, and yeah, it's well signposted. So why not do it if you're here? And then you come to the bamboo forest, which I think has seen better days. It's quite low, that. And then up and down over the river, well, stream. See, it just shows how little water there is about, to be honest with you. Lots of butterflies. And then you come to this little, it looks like a bridge, but actually it's just a handrail to walk across the stepping stones. And finally, on this trail, it'll bring you out at the miracle of Sompong tree. And it is quite a miraculous tree, to be honest with you, and as you'll see. So how the hell has that root formed a perfectly upright tree? I've no idea. And just to give you an idea of the size of that root, this is when I was on the motorbike, and obviously I'm on the side stand now of the bike, but I'm 5'8", so with the helmet must be 5'10", and I can easily fit underneath the root.